Okay, so we're spending 2 days on linear equation word problems, and I'm not going to spend as much time as I did yesterday because it's going to be the same thing. So make sure you look back at yesterday's video in order to see the explanation. But let's get started. So there are 4 types of word problems. Okay, so depending on what information they give you, that's the type of word problem we're dealing with. So for the first type, it's slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form means we're looking for the equation y equals mx plus b. And in the word problems, we are looking for the slope, which is the rate of change, and the y-intercept. So that's which is the starting point. Word problems can help me is using clue words to help me identify the slope. So the slope, their clue words are per, each, every, and, rate, and times. There's more than that, but those are the most common ones. So if I read this equation, your parents have decided to buy a new Toyota 4Runner for $25,635. According to the dealer, the car will depreciate in value approximately $3,000 per year. Write and solve the linear equation to find how many years until the car is worth $3,135. So if you read those 2 sentences, okay, one of them should stand out to you if I'm looking for these clue words that represent the slope. And you guessed it, the slope in this equation is 3,000 per year. And the reason why is because the clue word per, so my slope is 3,000. Now this is where context clues comes in handy because it says it will depreciate in value. That means it's not going up 3,000 per year, it's declining. So that would be negative 3,000. My y-intercept is the starting value. And whenever they bought the 4Runner, the starting value was $25,635. Okay? So now we're going to take my slope and my y-intercept into my slope-intercept form equation. So my slope is negative 3,000x plus $25,635. Wish they would have come up with a prettier number, but there you go. Now that we've written our equation, they want us to solve this equation to find how many years until the car is worth $3,135. So this is where I have to figure out, where do I substitute 3,135? Do I substitute it in for y or do I substitute it in for x? Well, here's my clue. 3,000 per year. That means x is years. Well, since 3,135 is not years, that's the total amount, that means that I substituted in for y. So 3,135, pardon my handwriting, equals negative 3,000x plus 25,635. And they want me to solve for x. So the first thing I do to solve for x is subtract 25,635 from both sides. Oh my. So 3,135 minus 25,635 is negative 22,500 equals negative 3,000x. To solve for x, I divide by negative 3,000. I apologize that it's off to the side. And so I'm going to do negative 22,500 divided by negative 3,000. Oops, that's not right. And this is x equals 7.5. Well, what have I found? I have found how many years, so 7.5 years is how long it'll take for the car to get to a value of 3,135 because it depreciates 3,000 every year. Okay, let's do this again. Slope-intercept form. If you buy a car wash at the gas station for $5, the cost per gallon is $3.10. If you have $40, write and solve a linear equation to find the number of gallons of gas you can afford. So in this first sentence right here, if I look for my clue words, my slope is given away by the word per. The cost per gallon is $3.10. So my slope is $3.10. That makes my y-intercept $5. If I put my equation together, y equals the slope, $3.10 x plus 5. There's my equation. But then we figure out we're going to solve. If I have $40 to spend, think of that as your total. They want to know how much it would cost or how many gallons of gas I can afford. If $40 is the total, the Y is the total. So I substitute 40 in for Y equals $3.10 per gallon plus $5. And then I solve for X. So I'm going to subtract 5. 40 minus 5 is 35 equals $3.10 times X. Divide by $3.10. Oops. So 35 divided by $3.10 is a decimal. It's going to be 11.29. Now, since we are talking about gallons of gas, I can have a decimal answer. They didn't tell me how they want me to round, so let's just go to the hundredths place. So it's 11.29 gallons of gas is how much I can afford when I have $40 to spend. Okay, so the second type of equation is standard form, okay? Standard form is AX plus BY equals C. Now this type of problem, I'm not looking for the slope and y-intercept. I'm looking for two different objects. Okay, so let's read this first one. Karen's piggy bank has all dimes and quarters. The total value of the money in her piggy bank is $11.40. If Karen has 36 quarters, write and solve the equation to find the number of dimes. Did you see what we are comparing the two objects? If you didn't catch it, it was in the first sentence. So we are going to let X represent dimes and Y represent quarters. And it's important that we label because when we go to solve, it's really important we know what's what. So X represents dimes and Y represents quarters. And they gave me a total of $11.40. So here's how we write our equation. Because they didn't tell me how many dimes or how many quarters, but we do know the value of those. Okay, when we're talking about money, a dime is worth 10 cents. So 0.10x plus the value of a quarter is 0.25y equals $11.40. And let me explain. I don't know how many dimes there were, so we use X. But I did know the value is 10 cents per dime. Same thing for quarters. I don't know how many quarters we have, but I do know that the value of a quarter is 25 cents, so 25 cents per quarter. All I do know is that they gave me a total of $11.40. Now that we have our equation, we are going to substitute 36 quarters in. So they actually did give me how many quarters there are. But where do I substitute it in? This is why we label. If X is dimes and Y is quarters, and they told me 36 quarters, that means I'm going to substitute Y with 36. So 0.10x plus 0.25 times 36 equals $11.40. Now I'm going to solve for X. So first, I'm going to multiply 0.25 times 36, and I get plus 9. Equals 1140. Then I'm going to solve for X. So first I subtract 9. $11.40 minus 9 is $2.40. Then I'm going to divide by 10 cents. So this tells me how many dimes there are. And I have 24 dimes. So if I have $11.40 and I had a total of 36 quarters, that means I only had 24 dimes to complete the set. Let's take that again, number 4. The Madison High School Marching Band sold gift wrap to earn money for a band trip. Solid color gift wrap sells for $4 per roll, and printed gift wrap sells for $6 per roll. Band needs to earn $2,340 for an upcoming competition. If the band sells 340 rolls of printed paper, write and solve a linear equation to find the number of solid paper they must sell. Did you see it? We first have to find what two different objects are there. And this one's a little tricky, but it's easy once you read it. It says we have a solid colored gift wrap sells for $4 per roll and a printed gift wrap. So we have X we're going to represent as solid, and Y is going to be represented as printed. So we have solid colored gift wrap and printed gift wrap, okay? What they've told me about that is that it costs $4 per roll for the solid, so 4x. Because it's $4, but I don't know how many of the solid I have. Plus $6 per roll for the printed. They're $6 each, but I don't know how many of the printed. Equals the total that they gave me, which was 2,340. Now we're going to take this equation and substitute 340 rolls of printed paper. Printed paper is y, so that means I'm going to substitute 340 for y. So 4x plus 6 parentheses 340 equals 2,340. Then I'm going to solve for x. So first we're going to multiply 6 times 340 is 2,040 equals 2,340. To solve for x, I'm first going to subtract 2,040 to both sides. So I have 4x equals, when I subtract this, I have 300. Then I divide by 4, so x equals 300 divided by 4 is 75. 75 what? 75, x represents solid, so 75 solid rolls. Okay, there you go. Okay, so the third type is point slope. In a point slope word problem, we are looking for a point, which is two values, and the slope, which we've already talked about, is the slope. The clue words are per, each, every, and rate, and times, okay? So be prepared for either of those. Point slope formula, let's refresh our memory, is y, the opposite of y, equals the slope, parentheses x, the opposite of x, okay? So let's find our point and our slope. A company offers premium cable for $39.95 per month, plus a one-time setup fee. The total cost of the setup and 6 months of service was $264.70. Did you see it? The first thing I noticed is that they gave me $39.95 per month. That is my slope. My slope is $39.95, and how I know is that clue word per. Then if I keep reading, it says the total cost for a setup and 6 months of service was $264.70. These two numbers right here are my point. My x is 6 months and my y is $264.70. But I want to label here. 6 is months and the $264 is money, okay? And we'll talk about why I label it in a minute. So let's put this into my point slope equation. Y, the opposite of positive $264.70 is minus $264.70, equals my slope, which we said is $39.95, parentheses x, the opposite of positive 6 is to subtract 6. So now that I have my formula set up, they want me to solve to figure out how much it would cost for 2 years of service. Because for 6 months, it costs $264.70. So they want me to figure out how much it would cost after 2 years. Stop right here. They gave me 6 in months, but then they changed it on me and changed it to years. Well, we can't leave it different. We can't have months and years and solve for that. We have to change the years to months. So how many months in 2 years? Well, if 1 year is 12 months, 2 years is 24 months, okay? Now, where do I put this 24? Well, since months was 6 and 6 is x, that means I'm going to put 24 where x is because 24 is also months. So y minus $264.70 equals $39.95 parentheses 24 minus 6. Now we're going to solve for y. So the first thing I do is take care of this right side. So I can type this in, which is 39.95 parentheses 24 minus 6. I have 719.10 technically because it's money. Then I'm going to add $264.70. So y equals 719 plus 264.70 So my total after 24 months is $983.80. Okay, the numbers were not that pretty on this one just because of the decimals, but it's the same process. So let's see if we can see an easier one. If I look at number 6, a home security company provides security systems for $5 per week plus an installation fee. The total fee for the 12 weeks of service is $210. So if you read it, this first sentence gave my slope. My slope is $5, and how I know is my clue word, which is per. Then they gave me, not y. Then they gave me a coordinate or an ordered pair. The total for 12 weeks of service is $210. So this would be 12 weeks is $210. Okay. If I labeled 12 as weeks and $210 is money, then we're going now, so we're going to set it up into a point slope form. So y, the opposite of y is, the opposite of positive 210 is minus 210, equals my slope, which is 5, parentheses x, the opposite of positive 12 is minus 12. Now, on this one, they didn't ask how much is it going to cost for 12 or for 30 weeks, or how much is it going to cost for 100 weeks, or they didn't even say how many weeks would it be if it was $3,000. They are simply asking what would be the installation fee. So for this one, what we're going to do is just simplify this. There's no plugging in for this one. So I'm going to distribute first. So 5 times x is 5x, 5 times negative 12 is negative 60. Then I'm going to add 10, or 210. So y equals 5x, negative 60 plus 210 is, I know it, negative 60 plus 210 is 100 plus 150. So if 5 is the slope, the installation fee is the 150. So this one's a little different, but they're just asking simply for the y-intercept. Okay, the last type, which to most is the easiest, is when I'm given 2 points. So just like point slope, we're given 2 sets of points, x sub 1, y sub 1, and x sub 2, y sub 2, point 1, point 2. Okay, so if we read it, the value of a car decreases at a constant rate. After 3 years, the value of the car is $15,000. After 2 more years, the value of the car is $11,000. Write and solve the linear equation to find the value of the car after 8 years. So if you read this first or the second sentence, the first point is 3 years gives a value of $15,000. So 3 is my x and 15,000 is my y. Then they gave me the second coordinate in the next sentence. But wait, it says 2 more years after that. It didn't say 2 years. So I don't put 2 here. 2 more years is 3 plus 2, which is 5. So be careful on the wording on that one. But the value of that car is 11,000. So my second coordinate is actually 5, 11,000. Okay? Now that I have my 2 points, we're going to perform linear regression. But hold up, before I get ahead of myself, we have to label. So 3 and 5 are years, and 15,000, 11,000 is the value, so money. Now we can type this into stat, perform linear regression, so 3 on the left, 15,000 on the right, then back to the left, 5 on the left, 11,000 on the right. Nope, that's 10,000. Okay, then stat over to calc, number 4, enter, 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 enter. Then here's my slope and my y-intercept, so y equals negative 2,000x plus 21,000 because it is positive. Then we're going to find, they want us to find the value of the car after 8 years. So where do I plug in 8? Well, 8 is years. And if I look at my originals, 3 and 5 were also years, and they're both in the x position. So I'm going to substitute 8 in for x. So y equals negative 2,000 parentheses 8 plus 21,000. And all I'm going to do here is type this in. Oops. Plus 21,000. Okay, and I get 5,000. And that's my answer. After 8 years, the value of the car is $5,000. So let's look at number 8. 2 sets of coordinates. Customers at a satellite dish company must pay for installation of the dish and a monthly fee for service. After 6 months, Jack had paid $594. After 11 months, he had paid $989. Write and solve the linear equation to find the cost for installation. Okay, so the first coordinate was 6 months and $594. The second coordinate was 11 months and paid $989. But let's label. 6 and 11 were both months, and 594 and 989 was money. So now we're going to perform linear regression by typing it into my calculator. So it's 6 on the left, 594 on the right, 11 on the left, 989 on the right. Stat over to calc number 4. Enter, 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 enter. My slope is 79, so y equals 79x, plus my y-intercept, which is 120, plus because it's positive. Now they want us to solve to find the cost for installation. So this is like the other one. They don't want me to actually plug in to find how much it's going to cost after 24 months or 30 months or 2 months. They just want to know the installation cost. So $79 is the slope. My installation cost is the $120. So that's my answer for this one.